Thanks for tuning in to Healthy Planet One, where we discuss healthy living from experts in each of their fields. This is your host, Patricia Starr.
And your co-host, Kimberly Knock. Today's guest on Healthy Planet One is Megan Howell, and we're going to be talking about ending homelessness through housing, support, and love. I am so excited. Welcome, Megan. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I'm just so honored that I was given this opportunity.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the magic of Second Heart Homes. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. They provide permanent housing to mentally ill and those that are at risk of homelessness. Now, Megan, amazing story. I can't wait for you to share it. When you shared with me, I was so excited to have you on the show. You have a master's degree in psychology. You have a lot of background in developmental disabilities, Alzheimer's, dementia, mental illness. One of your most exciting things is how you've spent time in Tokyo, Japan, actually being surrounded by the homelessness and mentally ill, and your experiences there, bringing it back. And you're also a teacher of origami for disability and behavioral disorders. Wow.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. So tell us a little about how did you get started with your passion for Second Heart Homes?
Yeah. Okay. So I live in Sarasota, Florida, and I used to work at a beloved local restaurant called Patrick's, and I was working there while I was going to school, getting my degrees, focusing on psychology. And I started researching different initiatives in the community that help the homeless, and I was volunteering with them. And just kind of seeing the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, and everything just started coming together. So there used to be a gentleman that was severely mentally ill who lived on the sidewalk outside of the restaurant. And well, I had befriended him over the years. He used to be a professor in upstate New York, and he was just brilliant. He made these beautiful drawings, and I was just fascinated by him and his drawings. And he was a gentleman who walked me and the other staff members to their car at night, kept us protected, and just treated us with respect and dignity, and it was reciprocated. So one day he went missing, and I knew his real name, so I went and found him, and he was in the hospital. He had been picked up for a medical emergency that almost took his life. And right then and there, I asked him, "What are your discharge plans?" And he told me that he was ready to get off the street. He had never said anything of that sort before. I wasn't necessarily prepared to help him before, but I knew that this was the moment to help him. So through a lot of hard work, met up with his family, who he had been estranged from, and worked out the finances while he was in a physical rehab, learning how to walk again. And I remember the social workers there told me constantly that there was no hope for him. I was wasting my time. He would just leave, and they had seen this play out many times before. But I knew there was something special about this gentleman, and fought tooth and nail for his best interest. So I approached my first landlord and said, "Hey, I have this wonderful gentleman who happens to be schizophrenic and homeless, but I worked out the finances with the family, and I promise I'll check on him every single day if you give me an opportunity to house him." And they said, "Sure." And that's how it all started. So today he has his own home. This is almost 4 years later, because I decided, well, if that's the impossible, then what else can be accomplished? And just started meeting people where they're at, and figuring out what their circumstances were and housing them, and just really had an opportunity to learn from the bottom up and just live with love and understanding, and really assessing their specific needs, because everybody has needs that change from day to day. And even if you're just checking in on someone and they don't necessarily need anything, for them to know that there's someone who cares really makes all the difference. We can say, all right, do you have groceries? Are you eating your groceries? Are you eating your groceries in your room like you're not supposed to? Tough love is just as important there. And medication isn't always the silver bullet. It's support and love, really.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
One thing that I'm noticing is that, and we talk about vibrational attraction, right? And then your heart, it's second heart homes. You've been leading with your heart. So what you were receiving was, an experience of heart. And sometimes we look at the homeless and, there's a judgment often, but you saw something beautiful, and a lot of them have stories that go beyond, and you were rewarded with all of that. And yeah, so go into more about how the program works. You're starting to tell us. It sounds divine. And
yeah, absolutely. Everybody has their own story, and that's what I try to attend to. These are the most fascinating people I've ever met in my life. They've gone through struggles that you can't even make up. And so I had an LLC and worked out the kinks with that. And over the years decided I want to be able to help more people, and determined if I wanted to grow as a company and be able to reach more people, I needed to change the business structure and become a 501c3 nonprofit organization to be able to take in contributions from the community and grants, and just make it as robust as possible to help everybody. So the way my program works, there are 4 main points. So there's housing, support, mentorship, and workshops. So that daily support element is imperative, as I mentioned, even if someone doesn't need something right that moment, just to know that there's someone who cares. Many people in Florida are transplants, including myself. So we come without a lot of support frequently, and, compound that with, traumatic backgrounds and just trying to get out of a bad situation that seems hopeless. It's a recipe for disaster. So
I think we're kind of all dealing with that, right now, being shut in. I mean, I myself, sometimes I'm like, I need some help,
Exactly.
Yeah. So more than ever, I think our listening audience can, relate to that. That's great. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I treat every individual as just that, an individual. They have separate needs and they change from day to day. A lot of the workshops that I do, I like to say that we are client centric. So I let them kind of pose what they want to learn. So we do cooking classes, cleaning classes. Imagine being homeless for 25 years and someone hands you a Swiffer.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Or they don't know that they can clean with vinegar and water. I mean, they haven't learned these things along the way. So to learn how to be self-sufficient is massive. I do time management workshops. Also teach origami for behavioral disorders, because you have lots of small successes on the way to your finished product that's tangible, and you can hold it and admire your hard work in just that moment.
I know, that's great. When we were together the first time, and you left a tip, because I paid, but I had you made something for me, and I had you leave it for the waiter or waitress, and I'm sure, and I watched you make it, and yeah, just in the process. So the origami, wow, that's a fantastic contribution that you do.
Yeah, it's a joy to watch them see that they can accomplish things that they previously thought were impossible. So when people come to me, it's really rebuilding that dignity that they may have lost along the way. They frequently come from backgrounds that don't have positive female influences. I do have some male staff members, but they've come on later, and so they get a little bit of everything. We have a contingency plan, a hurricane plan, a pandemic plan now. Everyone knows what to do in case of a tornado. We know where we're going in case of a hurricane. No one gets left behind. That's really, really important. And you get out of the community what you put into it. So these individuals are learning valuable skills about conflict resolution, art instruction. They're learning computer literacy. Right now I have an individual who's learning Microsoft Word and Excel, and he was homeless he went through 19 different foster homes where he was horrifically abused and neglected. and then found himself on the street, diagnosed with schizophrenia, in and out of jail. He was arrested 45 times since 2009. And he has such incredible insight right now. He's doing some peer groups about what it's like to have schizophrenia and what it's not like. And more importantly, where he's been and where he's going. And so he's starting to inspire other people. It's this beautiful ripple effect that teaches people the skill sets that they need so they can be in control of their life. Now this gentleman can put that he is proficient in using a computer, and he can create his own budget. And this helps with job seeking. Whatever they need help with is what my program is about. Nothing's too big or too small to attend to. And I even have an open policy where they know they can call me and say, listen, I don't need advice. I just need someone to listen to me. They have to say that first. But I will certainly oblige to that, because sometimes we just need someone to listen. And that makes a huge difference.
I know Patricia has a question, and yeah.
Hey, Megan. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah. So I just want to this sounds really fascinating, what you're doing. I want to get kind of a little orientation in terms of, so the name of your business is Second Heart Homes Incorporated. Are you a 501c3?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And so when you talk about, your programs and your support, are you affiliated or associated with another organization? Where are these programs held? And what's the format? So kind of give us a little orientation around that.
Sure. So what I'm doing right now currently is buying homes in the community, because I want these homes to be owned by the nonprofits, so they will always serve this function to help those most in need. And so the programs are run out of the houses. There's no more than 6 people in each house. I don't want people on top of each other. I don't want to be in violation of zoning, which I work very closely with the city. I work closely with Judge Quartermain's Comprehensive Treatment Court, which is a jail diversion program for people with mental illness. I collaborate with many other community resources, such as the Resurrection House and the Salvation Army, the Sarasota Police Department's homeless outreach team, which identifies individuals who are suffering from mental illness and have experienced homelessness or are at risk of homelessness. So it's a whole community of care that comes together to create onion layers of support around the clients. And so currently I have 3 houses, and there is another one in the works. So let's cross our fingers there. I'm about to leave and go do the inspection after this interview. So that's exciting. That'll be 6 more people off the street and into the lives that they deserve. So it's run out of houses, and myself or staff members come to the house each day, and we kind of have a game plan of who needs to do what. Does someone need help with working on a job application, or a little bit of help with cleaning their room, or assessing small-term goals and long-term goals, and kind of demystifying that and giving them the power to become self-sufficient through working through these things, not having these things done for them, but someone right there to say, all right, this is A, B, C, D. I'll help you through here. And
to give them their guidance and what have you. So it strikes me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, but there was a term that we used in California called halfway houses, and those were done away with in the 70s. But that was a way we took care of, it sounds like, the way you're taking care of these homeless people that need retraining, and just, kind of in a place that can hold them so that they can come into their own. Am I correct in that way?
Similar, very similar. We do have halfway houses here in Sarasota and surrounding areas. And we're very different from a halfway house, because a lot of the halfway houses have just so many people in them. It's impossible to give that one-on-one care that they really need. And halfway houses prioritize substance abuse more often than not. And we look at mental health first, because if you're attending to your good mental health needs, which I have mental health, you have mental health,